since I'm no longer playing for the team.
World Sport every Saturday from 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Only on Splash 105.5 FM.
All the way from Beijing to London. Okay, Super Saturday right here in the city of Ibadan. Reaching out to you from the White House building, Splash FM, Felele. It's a great Saturday. Happy to be back here again on this show, World Sport. You know what we do every Saturday on this show? It's all about talking football, talking tennis, talking basketball, talking golf, talking Formula One, tennis, everything that gets us excited in the world of sport. That's what we do every Saturday. And the good news is we have 90 minutes to discuss that and so much more of all of the trending stories in the world of sport. So welcome on board the show, the Super Saturday, the 11th day in the month of June 2022. My name is Blessing Fowowe, and I'm happy to welcome you on board the show this Saturday. What's your Saturday looking like? Is it a laundry Saturday? Is it an Owambe kind of Saturday? What exactly is your Saturday looking like? Well, for me, it's all about work, and I'm always happy to be back here to do that at any rate. Instead, when we should be getting, the Owambe rice and all of that, but hey, I'm always happy to be on duty here to lead us through the world of sports. One of the most exciting things to do, that is talking sport and also doing sports. So yes, it's a great privilege for me to be back here again on the show World Sports. And today we have a lot to discuss with the football, the international football taking center stage. The AFCON 2023 qualifiers. We saw Nigeria take on Sierra Leone in the first game of this qualification series on Friday. And yes, we'll talk about that. Pretty much like what the boys are saying in the aftermath of that game, and what we are to expect going into the second game against Sao Tome and Principe later on Monday. The coaches have some things to say. The boys are able. They've had some things to say about the philosophy of the coach. Yes, we'll get right into that. And also the UEFA Nations League is still getting our attention as well. France were in action yesterday, and they had to manage a draw against Ralf Rangnick-led Austrian side. Well, I don't know what you make of that, but yes, thanks to Kylian Mbappe, who got them a draw in that game. We'll talk about that, and of course, some of the other games that we have coming up today, which is quite a lot as well. Speaking of the UEFA Nations League, it's lots of interesting matches for us to talk about today. So, that is from the world of football. We have lots of games to look into. Netherlands against Poland, Hungary welcoming Germany, and England against Italy. I like to say that perhaps will be the biggest game of this weekend. So yes, we'll look into that today on the show. And not just that, we'll talk about other sports as well, not just football. We'll talk about the African Athletics Championships going on in Mauritius. It is gold on gold for Nigeria. Tobiloba Amusan writing a name in the history books. Continuing to do us proud. We'll talk about that today. We'll talk about Formula One, basketball. The Tigers are again begging the federal government to consider them and reverse that ban. They just want to play. That's what they're saying. And of course, the NBA Finals in the early hours of this morning. Game 4, Stephen Waddell Curry II. That man is a legend. All of that and so much more we'll get to talk about today on the show What's Sport right here on your integrity dial, Splash 105.5 FM. Okay, you can find us on our Facebook fan page where we are streaming live this Saturday afternoon. Find us on our Facebook fan page. If you're not a friend of ours, do go on Facebook, search for Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan and get us live in the studio this afternoon, really. I'd like to know, now that we are getting closer to transfer, not even closer, really. We're already in the transfer, just that the window has not officially opened. Oh, it has opened now. Yes, we are into transfer already. And we have been hearing news about some teams, some clubs shipping out certain players, pretty much clearing the dead woods, quote and unquote, in their club. So I'm wondering, tell us your club. What if you were in the position of the decision makers at your club, maybe the football executive, maybe the coach, for instance, and you have to make a decision. What players would you be shipping out? And if you have £100 million to spend on bringing in players, what certain players would you be bringing in, and what areas in your team do you think you'll be, beefing up in terms of transfer? That's as far as transfer is concerned. Get on our Facebook fan page, leave your comments. First of all, tell me the club you support, and of course, go on to tell me what players you'll be shipping out, and if you're given £100 million, how would you spend it to ensure that you beef up your team going into the new season? Get on our Facebook fan page, leave your comments. You can also call us 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706949300. I'm not here alone, and I think Emmanuel from you will be very, very happy to hear this voice because he's been asking after her for a while. Joy Ojabalu is back in the studio. What's up, Joy?
Yeah, I'm
good to see you.
Thank you.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
How many months?
Same as Clay Thompson. 7, 8, 5 days. It's wonderful to be back on the show. A wonderful afternoon to our esteemed listeners. It's wonderful to be back. I missed you all. I am glad to be back in the studio today to discuss everything sport, world sports. I mean, I won't miss it for a minute once I'm in town. And we've lined up a lot of things. Football, we're in the international football window where teams are getting ready for the World Cup. Those that qualified are fine-tuning their preparations going towards the end of the year, where we'll be seeing the World Cup in Qatar. Talking about teams playing in both their continents, talking about qualifiers in Africa. We look at the European scene where we're seeing the Nations League and also friendlies at the same time. And then football, a lot of footballing talk, basketball, it's all there. The African Athletic Championships is there. Formula One, we have a race this weekend coming up in Baku. A lot to talk about in the world of sports this afternoon. So sit tight and, of course, don't choke on jollof rice like Blessing was saying.
Really, don't choke on the jollof rice while you enjoy us on What's Sport this Saturday afternoon. Before we had the Champions League final, when we were talking about Liverpool and Real Madrid, I mean, Emmanuel called and said, of everyone in the studio, knew that perhaps you were the only one who was going to predict a victory for Liverpool. And then he said, wow, he really missed that and he would have loved to have you on the show that day. Hey, but yes.
Thank goodness it's not following the show.
He would have seen you support Real Madrid all the way. I mean, Joy came in this afternoon and we were chopping it off about the NBA finals, talking about the Warriors and how, we thought losing the first game of the series was supposed to be their undoing and how they were able to redeem themselves. But we'll get right into that in a bit. But Joy, let's start off with Formula One here. Speaking of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, Lewis Hamilton was left a bit sore after his Mercedes struggled with bouncing on the straight in the Friday practice at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And speaking after that, he ended up as the day's 12th fastest. But speaking after that, it says, I'll get by. We're hitting some serious speed at the end of the straight and it's bouncing a lot. And for teammate George Russell, he said that the new rules needed to be rethought. I don't think it's right to run like this for the next 4 years or whatever we've got. That's what George Russell said after that race. Apparently, after the practice session, apparently they're not happy with some of the rules there. But Leclerc ended the day at 0.248 seconds quicker than Monaco Grand Prix winner Sergio Perez's Red Bull, and the Ferrari driver said he had a good Friday. Leclerc's title rival Max Verstappen was a further 0.108 seconds adrift. Fernando Alonso, whose Alpine features a major aerodynamic upgrade this weekend, was fourth quickest, peeping the second Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. What are we expecting going into the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here, Joy?
Going into this particular race, I don't see much changing from what we've been saying since the beginning of the season. It's still looking as if it is a dogged race between Ferrari and Red Bull right now. Looking at how we started with Charles Leclerc, and then now we're seeing the current defending champion we have right now, Max Verstappen, chasing him down, and now he's top of both the drivers' standing, and then Red Bull is back atop the constructors championship. Going into this particular one, it's still looking like as Mercedes are coming into this one late. Last season, they just had Red Bull to contend with. But this season, the Ferrari is back and hot. It's looking like it's going to be very difficult for them to bounce back. I mean, they had a late bounce and we got to see drama until the final race of the season last season. And with what we saw at Baku, I don't expect to see anything different from what we've been saying from the Barcelona Grand Prix, the one at Monaco, the one in Miami. I don't expect to see anything new. So I just feel like Mercedes will just keep looking for the answer, because right now they are looking for answers everywhere. On the racetrack, off the racetrack, and a lot of things. I mean, what we used to see, the synergy between Lewis Hamilton and the person who used to be his former teammate, talking about Bottas, is different from what we're seeing from his new teammate, talking about Russell. Russell is a competitor. He doesn't want to sit back for Hamilton, so he is also trying to make a name for himself. He doesn't want to hear anything like, okay, Hamilton is chasing a particular thing, talking about his 8th championship. So I feel like it's going to be the same for Mercedes. Maybe towards the tail end of the season, we might see another bounce for them, but I think it's going to be too late because a lot of things is not going their way. Then the new rules for them. Back then, the rules used to look as if it was favoring Mercedes, and now that everything is the kind of rules they gave them during last season, when they were coming into last season, affected their drive. And this season, they're having a very terrible issues with tires, with their engine. I mean, I think last race in Barcelona was the second time that Lewis couldn't finish a race. So it's looking very terrible for them. If your best driver, the driver who has won 6 at Mercedes, has won 6 championships, can't finish races, then there's
a huge problem. But sometimes I wonder, do you think maybe how last season played out towards the tail end, could it have maybe in a way contributed to the struggles that Mercedes as a team are having and the struggles that Lewis Hamilton as a person is having as well on the tracks?
I feel so. I feel like
maybe mentally,
yes. I feel like there was this drain. I mean, he gave it his all onto the final day, and then losing that way. I mean, it was a controversial loss. We finished the final day of the season on a controversial note. Verstappen took that one at the end of the day, but I mean, it not gave me a thought about people who are chasing certain laurels in sports. Generally, look at Serena Williams. I mean, at this point in time, we are even contemplating. She does just trying to give us time before she tells us that she's not coming back on the court.
I'm feeling so.
I am feeling she's not looking like someone that is interested in tennis any longer. Both herself and her sister. But I feel like it's when you finally get to your peak. Sometimes it's very difficult for you to be able to push. But Lewis gave it his all last season, and getting to lose on the final day was so painful for him and his fans. And I think that then getting to come into a new season with a new teammate altogether was not what he needed. I felt like they should have kept Bottas, who was someone that was more supportive of Lewis Hamilton. And
then understand each other. The
synergy was there. Russell wants to make a name for himself. He's not after
which is understandable. But running side by side, someone like Lewis Hamilton, maybe that's what he needs to be able to get himself up there.
From the very first, in fact, from when we wanted to begin the season, he made some statements about him not looking at him. He was saying something like he doesn't expect Mercedes to tell him to step back for somebody at some point or the other in races. And I already knew that he was taking a jab at Lewis at the beginning of the season, which was a very bad one for him. I mean, fans came out to slam him that, okay, you're just coming into the team, you're already looking for a fight. But I feel like it is competitive spirit, and Lewis will really need to do more. Mercedes will really need to do more for him, because on his day, he's a very good driver. He proved that again last season when Mercedes were looking as if they are all and dusted for the season. They were not coming into it again, but he drags them back into the championship contention until the final of the season. So for me, Lewis is not the issue. Mercedes, they have serious issues. As a constructor is the issue for me.
Okay, so call this race before we go on a break.
Verstappen win.
Yeah. Second?
Leclerc
maybe.
Perez. 1, 2, 3.
Well, Verstappen really number one for you. Yeah. All right, we need to go to a very quick commercial break. On What Sports we return, and of course, still talking about the sports. Golf is a center of attraction with the Leaf Golf tournament. I mean, it's generating lots of controversy, pretty much like a Super League. Some are not in support of what's going on, but that tournament will go on regardless. After this break, we'll talk about that. It's still What Sports on your Integrity Tire. Stick around.
Long live LifeMate. LifeMate will celebrate her 16th anniversary in June 2022. Enjoy 50% discount on all product, 20% discount on royal furniture. At the same time, all customers who buy products will get a large number of exquisite free products. The complimentary products can go up to 50% of the total consumption. The discount period is from June 4th to June 30th. For more inquiries, please call 081 2000 6000. LifeMate, your life mate forever. Terms and conditions apply.
Àríkẹ́ ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fímílẹ̀ òjé alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó ó túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo mama ATM sọ̀bù ẹnu.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun ewu tún ni mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní sọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo sadé tó ní sọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn. Gbogbo gbala ń bára máa ń wo sọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yá kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo Mama ATM POS. Ìyẹn nìkan kọ́ àwọn ń bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ń sọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí Mama ATM POS. Àwọn ń bára máa ń gbowó lórí Mama ATM POS machine. Wọ́n á tún fi owó sórí decoder DSTV, GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀. Sọ ti wá mọ ìdí tí sọ́ọ̀bù sadé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò ṣe mọ́wọ́ ní fún gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀. Ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba Mama ATM POS. Káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
Ó ní ṣe wá gba Mama ATM POS machine.
Kàn sí Mama ATM ní nàbà 6A Ọ̀lànìyàn Fagbemi Street off Mobile Bus Stop lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for Real Event Center Ìyàgànkú GRA Ìbàdàn. Nílùú Èkó Suite 18 Aláùsá Shopping Mall Ìkẹjà 0809 950 0554. Mama ATM gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
The Truth 2022. In Jesus' name, there shall be signs and wonders.
It's the season of revival. Come receive the touch of God for exploits. A City of Hope Foundation cordially invites all and sundry to its citywide crusade with the theme, The Truth. The Truth 2022 comes up from Thursday 16th to Saturday 18th June 2022 at the Liberty Stadium from 4:30 p.m. daily. Ministry, Prophet M.O. Olowere Baba Automatic, Bishop Francis Walioke, PFN National President, Reverend Samson Ajitomobi, Oyo State PFN Chairman, Pastor Moses Lano, Christ Life Church, Maryland, USA, Apostle Clement Oluolajimi of Shining Light World Outreach, and Dr. Francis Bola Akinjon of Church Growth International. Ministry and songs are Evangelist Dr. Bola Are, Evangelist Dr. Bukola Akinade Shenwele Jesu, and others. Ministers Conference holds at 9 a.m. on Thursday 16th and Friday 17th June 2022 at Okeado Baptist Church, Liberty Stadium Road, Ibadan. Come, know the truth, and be permanently set free. Jesus is Lord.
Iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná a máa fúnni ní ìmọ́lẹ̀ a sì máa mú ìdẹ̀rùn wá láti wá dènà ìjàmbá iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná. Ojúlówó wáyà tàbí kébù ló yẹ ká fi fa iná nínú ilé, lọ́fíìsì àti nínú ìlú. Purchem wires and cables ní àwọn ilé-iṣẹ́ mọ̀nàmọ́ná àti àwọn agbaṣẹ́ṣe yàn láàyò. Ojúlówó ni, kì í bó lára, kò kì í jóná àbáàdì, kì í kán sínú, ó sì fi ni lọ́kàn balẹ̀. Ìdí nìyí tí Standard Organization of Nigeria fi fòǹtẹ̀tẹ̀ tí Nigeria Electrical Contractors náà fi dìbò fún. Bí copper cable ṣe wà ní aluminium cable ń bẹ nípele lówó tí kò gún pa. Purchem wires and cables tó jẹ́ ọ̀kan lára àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Kaman ló ṣe ojúlówó wires and cable jáde. Olú iléeṣẹ́ Purchem wires and cables limited wà ní Afrins Compound, Fort Gate, number 122/132 Oṣòdì Apapa Expressway, Ìyànà Ìsọlọ̀ bus stop, Lagos. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wọn ní 080-803-03257. Purchem wires and cables. Ìrọ̀rùn fi iná mọ̀nàmọ́ná.
Ọlọ́run wòlíì Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ máa ró gbogbo ènìyàn látara níbi ìpàdé májẹ̀mú 72 hours.
Àrùn Ọlọ́run lẹ́nu wòlíì Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ máa tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo ogun àti jìbá nínú 72 hours ní kọ́ńtà yìí o. Àkòrí ẹ̀ agbára rọ̀ power of the world látọjọ́ Friday 10 Saturday 11 àti Sunday 12 June ní ọ̀rọ̀ fúnra rẹ̀. Yóò ti máa bá gbogbo májẹ̀mú tó lóhùn tó lòdì jẹ́ lórí ayé gbogbo aládùúwà. Tó bá lè farahàn lábẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run lórí àwọn wòlíì rẹ̀ àtàwọn olórí ẹ̀mí bíi Dáre Melody, Friday Paul Ọmọbúlé, Elijah Akíntúndé Ọlọ́run Sábẹ̀, Bridget Adénúbí, Chigozie Wisdom, Gbẹ̀ngà Adénúgà, Prophet Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ yóò máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ bá gbogbo májẹ̀mú tó lòdì jẹ́ lórí àwọn èèyàn. Látọjọ́ Friday 10 tá a bá ti wọnú àdúrà láago 9 òwúrọ̀ náà ọjọ́ Monday la máa ṣorí ọ̀fẹ́ o. Láti wọ́rọ̀ Olùbàdàn tó bá sì jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Ọkọ̀ àṣejì rẹ̀ ní kẹ́wọ̀. Òṣèjẹrẹ ní kẹ́ máa bọ̀. Mercy Kàmpútì CAC májẹ̀mú àánú. Ìwọ náà máa bọ́ lábẹ́ ìdè ọ̀rọ̀.
Splash FM 105.5.
Okay, we're back right here on World Sports on your integrity dial, Splash 105.5 FM. Thank you for keeping it locked here with us. Before we went on that break, we took our time to talk about the Azerbaijan Grand Prix that's in Formula One. And of course, we'll be heading into golf real quick. But first off, we're streaming live on our Facebook fan page. And what I'm asking you today is this. I mean, imagine you are the coach, you are the football director of your club. You have to ship out players. What players are you shipping out of your team? And of course, you have to tell me what areas in the team you want to beef up as well. And if you have £100 million to spend, how are you going to spend it ahead of the new season? That's the question I'm asking. Get on our Facebook fan page, leave your comments, or you can call us 08091551055, 08256998678, and 0706949300. I have my name is Celebrity joins us right now. What's up, how are you doing?
I'm fabulous. Good afternoon to you, Blessing. Good afternoon to Joy. Glad to see you for the first time in some months, yeah?
Thank you.
I have to confess that we kind of miss you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, those kind of timekeeping and scorekeeping that you usually do. But really, it's so great to have you back with us. And of course, from what we are talking about today, quite an interesting one. The transfer window is obviously something that gets me excited because I haven't seen each of the teams that participated in the just concluded season and how they each fared. Of course, there's always that room for development, even for the almighty, in quotes, Real Madrid that won the Champions League for the 14th time. They obviously would still love to actually reinforce in their own squad, and I think they've been fairly doing that. They've signed Rudiger already. They're also on the verge of also completing the signing of Tchouaméni for AS Monaco. So, if a relatively successful Real Madrid is already, a business, barely just weeks into the summer transfer window. So, what's the excuse of the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal, and so forth? So, I think the transfer window is always something that will get us talking. Quite exciting, and always looking forward to talk about it as well.
Okay, we'll do that in a bit, but first off, into other sports. We're still talking about the sport right now. In the world of golf, Bryson DeChambeau has become the most significant player to turn his back on the PGA Tour and join the fledgling Saudi-funded Live Golf Series. The American won the 2020 US Open and is in the prime of his career. He has been unveiled the day after the PGA Tour said it was suspending any members who joined the rival circuit. Now, DeChambeau's first appearance will be in the second event of the $250 million series, which runs from the 30th of June to the 2nd of July in Portland, Oregon. Now, the first of 754-hole, £20 million event is currently taking place at the Centurion Club near London, with the 4-day, £40 million finale scheduled for October in Miami. And Live Golf Chief Executive Greg Norman said DeChambeau was an exciting addition because he's passionate and innovative in his approach and committed to pushing the boundaries. He's not afraid to think outside the box and supports their mission of doing things differently to grow the game of golf. That's from the Chief Executive Greg Norman of the Live Golf Tournament. DeChambeau, who turned professional in 2016 and officially joined the PGA Tour in 2017, is the 8th major champion to join the new series. This is the Super League of golf.
This is money speaking.
It is money speaking. I was reading up about this, I think today, yes, and one of the golfers who switched camp was asked about if this kind of tournament was happening in South Africa during the apartheid season, the apartheid period. Would he have played? It was also asked if this was happening in Russia, with all that is going on between Russia and Ukraine, would they have played? And guess what? It tactically maneuvered those questions.
Yeah, that I also watched the interview of one of the golfers on Wednesday evening, and was practically being driven around by the journalist. And unfortunately, he just couldn't find a very logical answer to all those questions. The bottom line is, majority of these guys, let me just say all of them, are actually being influenced by money. And I wouldn't really fault, the Asian countries that are actually funding this. I think they are...
It is Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, their intention is quite clear. They just want to... They want to use sports to wash away whatever it is that's actually, that the media, the Western media has been able to turn them as, especially as regards...
Maybe not turn them as, things that they actually do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The Western media is only the one that is actually reporting it that way. Internally, they're not reporting, especially as regards the passing or the death of Jamal Khashoggi, the famous journalist that I think was killed in 2019 or so. So that has been the fulcrum of all this discussion. But when you realize the amount that has been thrown around, perhaps most of these lads felt... I might as well just stay in PG and spend about 3-4 years before I could eventually end this. Meanwhile, these guys are offering me this for just a tournament that will last for a few months. So I think that has been the motivation behind these golfers ditching the usual PGA calendar, or the PGA tour, for this kind of tournaments. But I'm waiting to see how far this can actually go. Now that he's already having his wins in football, in golf rather, I'm waiting to see how well it can actually transfer. We've seen, imprint of it as well in boxing. I remember, was it Anthony Joshua's bout or whose bout that was held in
the next one also
in Dubai, or was it in Saudi Arabia? So I think they are relentless in trying to spot wash.
Saudi Arabia is in Newcastle.
Exactly.
Newcastle.
So it is quite obvious what they are trying to do. And if you have the money, there is a little you can actually dictate as regards what the person should do with that money, and I think that's exactly what they are doing. It's just a bit disheartening that the supposed athletes, golfers in this case, that should really be upholding the true nature of human being, which is of course always about
humanity,
fairness and empathy and all that. They are sadly not doing that. I wouldn't want to relate that to some other political stuff that's happened here in Nigeria in the last few days, but that's just the reality of things now.
I think the golfers are perhaps would be in a difficult situation right now. Here is why. For you to take part in the 4 majors, your ranking is very important. And attending a tournament like the Live Golf, project, which doesn't have a ranking at this point in time, it means that you may not be able to take part at some of the majors. But the US Open was saying, they said that for players who have qualified, they can rest assured that they will still play. For those who have qualified before joining the Live tournament, they'll still play. Some players have 10-year exemption by winning the US Open. Some have 5-year exemption by winning some other tournaments and all of that. But that's also one of the grey areas where, but Live Golf is saying that they are very confident that they will be able to get the rankings required for them for this particular tournament. But it's an ongoing discussion. In the process, the golfers are jumping ship while some have decided to remain with the PGA Tour. Let's move away from golf to the NBA Finals. Joy, Stephen Curry scored for the 3 points for the Golden State Warriors as they defeated the Boston Celtics 107-97 in Game 4 to level the NBA Finals to 2-2 at the TD Gardens in the early hours of this morning. Boston led 94-90 with just over 5 minutes left, but 10 consecutive points helped the Warriors to victory. Curry scored 7 3-pointers from 14 attempts and did not appear troubled by a left foot injury that he sustained in Game 3 of the best-of-7 series. Now, Klay Thompson added 18 points for the Warriors, while teammates Andrew Wiggins contributed 17 points and a career-high 16 rebounds. For Curry, he's averaging 34.3 points in the series, and so far, he has made 25 of 51 3-point attempts. That is absolutely incredible. Meanwhile, for Jason Tatum, he had 23 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocked shots for the Celtics, and Game 5 of the series will be coming up on Tuesday morning at 2 a.m. in San Francisco. That's the Chase Center. Golden State Warriors have the home court advantage yet again.
And this time around they'll be looking towards making it count and not repeating what happened in Game 1. You mentioned during the introduction of how they finally redeemed themselves from that very terrible error. I don't even know what to call it. I don't know if it's an error, a blunder, or what they committed at the Chase Center in Game 1. With everything looking to go for them, the whole home court advantage and everything, they blew that particular one in the fourth quarter, and then now they had to come from behind again to level the series. Came from behind in the second game at the Chase Center. Then this time around, that's the fourth game at the TD Gardens. It's heroic, like some people will say, what Steph Curry has been able to do, not just today, but for the entire playoffs, starting from against Nuggets. And then let's talk about the finals. He has scored about 50% of all the points scored in that team has been scored by Stephen Curry. So it is something that is actually maybe finally getting to put to bed his critics, who are always coming at him by saying he doesn't have that's an NBA Finals MVP. Maybe this time around he's looking towards finally getting that particular one after quieting his critics concerning an All-Star MVP, which he won this particular season. He won the MVP for the All-Stars, and then this time around going out to do this the TD Gardens, where it's very tense. I'll tell you, very, very tense TD Gardens concerning this game. Looking at what has been going on between his teammates, talking about Draymond Green and the fans at the TD Gardens, he came up and stood tall and was able to score 43 whooping points.
Yes.
I mean, that's Steph.
You made a statement, and that actually raised my eyebrow that Curry is obviously now trying to silence his critics, and I'm wondering
why should he even have to silence critics?
Doesn't even have critics.
After all, he has actually.
Oh, really?
Yes, he has. Huge critics who believe because
Steph Curry.
Yes, who believe because he doesn't have an NBA Finals MVP award.
Wow. I mean,
doesn't make him rank among the greats.
There's always a new conversation. Some people will say that he is not the greatest shooter, that is the greatest 3-point. I'm like,
he's
sorry,
not the greatest shooter.
Yeah, they will tell you he's not the greatest point guard.
Are you kidding me?
Some people will tell you that.
Who doesn't like Steph Curry?
A lot of people.
I wish someone could just call me today and tell me why he doesn't or she doesn't like Steph Curry.
Some will tell you that.
Maybe someone will just give me a logical reason, and I might look at it from that angle.
Some will tell you that he could have not won the last two that's championships without KD, and I'm like, sorry, KD was not there in 2015.
Yes,
we're talking about someone who has always been quite remarkable all through. If you're talking about someone who only shows up at the finals, then maybe I can actually say, yeah, I agree with you. But we are talking about someone who has always been there right from the first game of the season and consistently. Maybe he would obviously, win the man of the match on numerous occasions, but I think he has about 3 MVP.
2 NBA.
Is it 2?
MVP.
Is it 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3 NBA titles. And
3 NBA titles and 2 MVPs awards. And you're still telling me
the only man to do that in this.
You're still telling me he has some critics. What? Listen, I won't deny the fact that perhaps he would have some critics, but I don't expect them to be that huge.
It is huge, actually.
Really?
And, a couple of weeks ago,
I wish someone could just call me now.
A couple of weeks ago,
just tell me why you don't like Steph Curry.
I tweeted and asked that if you have to compare and contrast NBA fans to football fans, which is the most toxic?
Football fans, please.
Are you
NBA fans?
I think it's football.
Are you sure?
I'm talking from experience.
Experience of 2 weeks ago.
You know, right?
No, because sometimes I look back at those scenarios and I wonder, because you see things that fans say on social media, not just on social media, on their, even at those arenas.
At the arenas.
Then you're wondering. You have to place side by side the football fans, basketball fans.
Basketball fans,
which is much more toxic.
But football is actually
no. Well, if you're talking about toxicity, rather, I think we can actually place them on par. The reason for that of basketball for me is perhaps because of the fact that it's usually that very closeness between the court and the fans. So that way, the fans obviously have that express opportunity.
Don't we have that in football?
No, in football, there's always some yards.
Still.
So regardless, for me, you can have someone standing at the back on the stand in the football stadium, all in a whole lot of abuses right there at, say, Cristiano Ronaldo, and the man doesn't even get it yet. But you can't really expect that not to happen on the basketball.
When fans start making chants, I retweeted some things on Twitter yesterday.
It takes multiple people to do that. Now, in the world of basketball, someone just sitting on the sideline of the court can easily just say something very annoying. Who was it? There was a recent situation about a basketballer.
It was LeBron James.
Was it? Thank you very much.
Injected.
LeBron James. So that is the level of toxicity right there in basketball. But I think, take that away, if you're talking about fans with a very short fuse, that they can easily forget that just 2 days ago or 3 days ago you netted a hat trick, but because you just missed a sitter. Come on, it's football.
Honestly, it's football. I saw videos of chants made at football. I think I quite agree with you on the second thought, because I saw videos of fans making chants, crazy chants at football. Particularly the team got relegated, and it was the players were almost caught on ground.
Listen, I'm even surprised you're actually debating this. How much did you spend to get the new glasses?
You want me to say it?
No, I'm just saying. How did you lose the former glasses?
It started from 2. Actually, I just picked up this new glasses.
How did you lose the former glasses? You are here saying basketball fans have more. No, come on.
I lost my glasses in the chaos that happened a couple of weeks ago at the stadium.
No.
And I just picked it up.
Sorry, let's just move
2 days ago.
I'll forgive you.
And I spent a fortune.
I will forgive you and assume you never said that. Let's just assume you never had this conversation.
Honestly, I forgive myself because I spent a fortune to get these glasses again. So yes, I understand where that's coming from.
Football fans now, you're
But let's get back into basketball now. Game 5 coming up at Chase Center. Do you think the Golden State Warriors can now see this out to get a victory?
Talking about
you have always predicted GSW anyway.
Of course,
so
now.
Yes. So
now I'm caught in between, to be honest.
Why?
Go on.
Because of Ime Udoka. To be honest,
you should have seen him before now.
No. Here's why. I knew they were always going to make it to the finals, but I just didn't expect them to give GSW this run for their money. And the fact that was it the first game
of defensive team in
wait,
the league?
was it the first game of wait, hold up, I'm going somewhere. Was it the first game or the second game that they won GSW at their own game?
It was the first game.
In terms of shooting,
it was the first game.
In fact,
it was the first game. Yeah, that was the announcement for me. That was where I started getting confused because
I've not been paying attention then.
Exactly.
Oh really? Maybe I'll take that.
Exactly.
But the point is, I've always wanted GSW, and I felt if they are going to actually come up against Boston Celtics, perhaps should be an easy walk in the park. But that first game changed my whole mentality about it, and of course my expectation about this particular final. That's why I'm happy that we are likely to have a Game 7 from the look of things. We are very likely.
That's because for a team that has gone Game 7 back to back. They went Game 7 against the Bucks, Game 7 against Miami Heat.
Yeah.
And now,
to be honest, whoever wins, I will be happy. Whoever wins.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, Joy.
For me, I feel like seeing this one out, at first I was predicting the Warriors in 6. But after that first game, like AY said, we are looking at a likely Game 7. If Warriors can go back to the Chase Center and do what they usually do in this particular series, they've been very strong at the Chase Center, talking about their own home ground, their own arena. I feel like going back to the Chase Center, I see a Warrior win, but I don't see them winning in 6. If they win, it will be a win in 7 because I don't see them coming back to the TD Gardens in Game 6 and beating this. I don't see them beating Celtics.
So that means this next game is very important.
Very important.
That game is coming up
because it is very possible for Celtics to win right there.
Indeed,
it is very possible.
Very possible. It means that they have to also repay, that when they get to the TD Gardens.
But of course, this is a final. This is how a final should be.
Indeed, it is. That's how the NBA is shaping up at this time. It is 2-2 after 4 games in that series. So still a lot of games to be played. And back home here in Nigeria, we're talking crisis. We're not talking games. I'll continue to say that until we find a solution. The Nigerian women's basketball team, the Tigers, have reiterated their opposition to the 7-imposed international ban embarked upon by the federal government. The captain of the team, Adora Elonu, who spoke on behalf of the team yesterday, said it had become necessary to speak up again after the players noticed the video in circulation, which had been manipulated and put out of context just to create the sad impression that the players were now in support of the ban. She said rather than support the ban, they have been making pleas and efforts daily to make the government reconsider the decision and lift the ban. Elonu, who called from her base in Europe, said the Tigers have been open in making it clear that we do not support the ban in any way. We want the opportunity to play in any way possible. Our team statement released earlier still holds. We love competing for Nigeria and want the chance to continue to do so. In no way are we supporting the ban enforced on the international competitions. We continue to plea for the removal of the ban. The words of Adora Elonu, who is the captain of the Tigers. At this point, all pleas falling on deaf ears. Nothing. It looks like there's no going back, according to the Minister of Youth and Sports. So that's where we are as regards this. And now to athletics, where we have the African Athletics Championship currently going on. And Ferdinand Omayala was crowned king of the men's 100 meters on day 2 of the event in Mauritius. The 26-year-old Kenyan pipped the South African track rival Akani Simbine by 3,000ths of a second, crossing the line in 9.9 seconds, just ahead of Simbine, 9.27, just ahead of Simbine, who did 9.930. And for him as well, it's a great move for Akani Simbine, getting the 100-meter title. He also ran the final leg of the men's 4x100-meter relay final to win gold, to go with the one that he won earlier in the individual event on Thursday. South Africa, despite individual silver medalist Akani Simbine opting not to run in the final, he claimed silver, with Zimbabwe winning bronze. But let's listen to Ferdinand Omayala here, who is the African 100-meter holder at this point. It says he's targeting the 3rd title when he races in the 200-meter heat today. But then his focus is also on the World Athletics Championship right there in Oregon after this.
It's one of the titles that I've always wanted and dreamt of, and it's a stepping stone towards the championships coming. So it was nice. Yeah, that was a great race, I must say. And thanks to Akani, who pushed me, because if I could have been alone in the front, maybe I could ease up or just not pushed hard. But thank God, I am the one who came the top. I hope we take this African sprinting to the next level as we go for the World Championship and again the Commonwealth, because we are again meeting at the Commonwealth Games. So it's a good thing that Africa is now emerging and having more than one person representing the continent. And I'm looking forward to a very great championship coming ahead next month.
Okay, that is Africa's fastest man at the moment. Ferdinand Omanyala won gold in 100 meters individual event. The 4x100 meter relay as well, he won gold. And how is Team Nigeria faring in Mauritius, you ask? Team Nigeria increased its gold medal to 3 yesterday at the championships there in Mauritius, with the women's 4x100 meter relay team overcoming stiff opposition from South Africa and the Gambia in the final. Nigeria secured her first gold medal on Thursday through Oluwatobiloba Amusan in 100 meter hurdles, and expectations were very high yesterday when the women's 4x100 meter relay team filed out in the final. But of course, they did not disappoint. They won gold in that in the event. The officials were also expecting a medal from the 4x100 meter men's relay team to take inspiration from their female counterpart, but the men got it wrong. They finished in a disappointing 4th position with a time of 39.98 seconds. Kenya picked gold, while South Africa came in second, and Zimbabwe got the bronze medal there. And Nigeria's second gold yesterday came from Chioma Onyekwere, who successfully defended a discus title. Patience Okon-George also flopped in the women's 400 meter yesterday, finishing in the disappointing 5th position. I think age might be catching up to Patience Okon-George at this point. Meanwhile, the defending champion in the women's long jump, Nigeria's Ese Brume, could not make it to Mauritius for the championship. She was on the list of athletes released by the AFN for the championship in Mauritius, but we're hearing that she could not travel to from her base in the US because of passport issues at the US embassy. Alongside our coach Coyote Yaya, and they had applied for Schengen visa, but the process was delayed. So she will not be in Mauritius, but of course our focus now is on the World Championships in Oregon and the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. But of course, Tobiloba Amusan, who won the 100 meter hurdles here, she's here talking about how the race went for her. And of course, she was asked about breaking the record or getting gold medal. Which one would come first? Listen to her.
Feel elated. Yeah, it's such an honor, coming out here to execute my race and, putting Nigeria on the top podium. I'm really excited. All thanks to the maker of Heaven and Head, because there's nothing I could do with my own power. And, I'm just out here showcasing my talent that God has given me. And, once I'm healthy, I'll do exploits. Like I said, I take a trace at a time and I let God, do his thing, take charge. Mine is to be healthy, trust myself, my coach, trust God, and everything will fall in place.
Taking down the African record, you won the Diamond League. Next stop now certainly is the world stage. Which will be more important to you, winning a gold or potentially breaking the world record?
Records are meant to be broken, but my medal cannot be taken away from me. So one medal first, and then we'll focus on the record. And if both comes together, why not?
Okay, shout out to Christopher Maduesi and DJ Genigbo of Making of Champions for that interview. That was the voice of Tobiloba Amusan. They're talking about that 100 meter race there.
I wonder what Nigerian athletics will look like without MOC.
Isn't just MOC. There are other track clubs who are doing well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Give me a name.
Gold, World, I'm trying to remember. Is it World Tour there? But there's a particular club as well.
Do they have superstars?
Well, maybe. I think they do.
My point is MOC.
They do.
Okay.
But maybe not as much as the MOC.
The point I'm trying to make is MOC make it look like they are even the AFN. Do you get the point I'm making?
I think
they basically take up this talent at the youngest of ages.
The difference is this.
Okay.
The difference is this. The owner of the MOC has a media experience, let me put it that way. So it's not just a track club, it's also a sports management team. So they understand the media engagement, pushing what they are doing out there. It's the reason why you tend to see them more.
Blessing, I'm not even talking about seeing them more. I simply asked the question. You said there's a word.
There are other track clubs. That's what I want to know.
Yes. I'm looking for a name that is obviously popular, that is doing well from any of those other clubs. Meanwhile, we have about 3 or 4 from MOC. Do you get the point I'm making now? So the point I'm making is this MOC, what they basically do is to just help these talents right from the youngest of ages, help them grow into what we now see as continent beaters or maybe even world beaters, as the case might be. And that's supposed to be the primary job of the AFN. AFN only just all-comers meet, or what do they call it? All-comers event?
National
event. See, listen, you're supposed to be doing more than that. When you organize this event and then you actually discover this talent, what's the name of the AFN president of your state? Odo Agudo, what's his name? Sorry, please remind me. Oga Agudo or something.
No.
I need to actually give him thumbs up.
Why is his name skipping my
Because I know he has done so well in terms of the discovery of this talent and ultimately ensure that this talent, he follows their development. That is supposed to be the primary objective of the AFN. Because we only have these individuals or even clubs all doing this.
Hold on, AY. So the AFN is just like the NFF, right?
Yeah.
So the FN discovers, if the FN is discovering talents and training them like you're saying, are you saying the NFF should also be discovering talents and be training
Isn't
them?
that why they have the Super
Hold on.
Isn't that why they have the Super Eagles?
Hold on. The talents discovered who play national team, aren't they supposed to have club sites where they play?
Yes, they do. But hold up. What I'm saying is we have the Super Eagles, we have the under-20s, we have the under-17s as the case of football. But in the case of Nigeria, what we only do is to just organize these athletes rather, and just put them through the tournament. And Linda even state that putting them through the tournament sometimes requires the media or even some third parties investing massively, not necessarily by the AFN, doing all this by themselves. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be easy process in terms of the transportation, in terms of the bonuses or whatever it is.
Again, I'm telling you, just like you have the under-17, under-19, whatever in football, you have the youth championships in the athletics as well.
Okay.
National youth championships, you have that. You have this the national youth games. You have a whole lot of things. There are a whole lot of tournaments. Maybe you are looking at it from the angle of the crisis that the AFN has, and maybe they are not. I know that's where you're looking at it for, but to totally say that they are not because one track club is doing exceptionally well, I think that may be a bit, not too good telling on the part of the AFN. That's what I'm saying. I hate to be the devil advocate.
You are already.
Yes, so
you are already. Don't say you.
But still talking about the AFN, athletics rather, in the NCAA championship right there in the United States, Nigerians are doing very well as well. Fivo Ashe finished silver in the 100 meters. Udo Dion Yuzurike, we saw him break out at the national. No, sorry, not national. The African Youth Games, if I'm not mistaken, last year. Yes, he broke out there, and of course, he has since then
Kenya
taken it
hosted it, yeah?
Yes, it was Kenya. Now,
we're surprised that we have a Kenya as the sprint star in Africa. Kenya are usually known for
long distance races. Well, if you have been following Ferdinand Mayala for a while, you know there's been knocking on the door.
And that's what I'm saying.
Nigeria. I think it was Nigeria maybe 2 years ago or last year.
The point I'm saying is usually we know Kenyans, Ethiopians, what other country from East Africa? Ethiopia. No. Ethiopia, Kenya. There's one more country that we know for this long distance racing. Now we're having Ferdinand doing 100 meters. He also won the gold in 4x100 meters. He also looking. I think they will be having the 200 meters later this weekend. Today. I mean, it's somewhat a change in paradigm for me as regards Kenya particularly. And if Kenya is not taken, we could only just be talking about East Africa producing both the long distance racers and even the sprint athletes.
I think you also have a point there because even in the women's category, there's Christian Mboma who is holding up our win in 200 meter, 100 meter. We saw her at the Olympics last year. She's Kenya.
Good.
There's another lady in Kenya as well from the short distance races. I'm trying to remember her name, but of course I understand what you're saying there. But good one for Onyuzurike and the other Nigerians who are there in the USA for the NCAA. They are doing very well for themselves. Nathaniel Ezike also came close to finishing on the podium, but he couldn't quite get it in the men's 4x100 meter hurdles. Here at best, I saw him at the National Sports Festival. I think was it last year? Was early last year? Yes. And now he's moved to the US. He also competed in the men's high jump final and he finished 5th. But the future is bright for me as far as I'm concerned.
It's bright for me.
And I asked on Thursday, where is Divine Oduduru? We might not be missing him after all. But let us move on. Straight into football we go. Okay, after this quick commercial break, we'll talk about football, talk about the MPFL. Remember, I'm asking you, if you have to ship out players from your team, who would those players be? And you have £100 million to sign players to fill up some spots. Which players would you be signing? Get on our Facebook fan page, leave your comments. We'll be back after this.
Splash FM 105.5.
Long live LifeMate. LifeMate will celebrate her 16th anniversary in June 2022. Enjoy 50% discount on all product, 20% discount on royal furniture. At the same time, all customers who buy products will get a large number of exquisite free products. The complimentary products can go up to 50% of the total consumption. The discount period is from June 4th to June 30th. For more inquiries, please call 081 2000 6000. LifeMate, your LifeMate forever. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you in need of a nice and comfortable, fully furnished hostel accommodation in the University of Ibadan? Or are you in search of a place for seminars and executive trainings? Look no further. Adebayo Akonde Hall is the go-to place for your lodging needs with a home away from home feel. Adebayo Akonde Hall is a 4-star hostel built in a serene environment with constant supply of electricity. It has fully furnished rooms that gives you great comfort at an affordable price. Adebayo Akonde Hall is located at Ajibode Extension, University of Ibadan. For inquiries and reservations, visit www.adebayohall.com or call 080-5699-8718 or 080-5699-8719 or 080-5699-8720. Adebayo Akonde Hall. Built for comfort. Built for you.
Àríkẹ́ ojú rẹ̀ ṣe akọrẹ lọ báyìí.
Bọ̀dá wà sún ewé fímílẹ̀ òjé alọ́jà òya.
Ọjà àyà bíi ti bó ó túmọ̀ sí pé ọmọ lo mama ATM mọ́sọ̀bù ẹnu.
Bọ̀dá wà sí ìwé dákun ewu tún ni mama ATM POS.
Mama ATM ní gbogbo ntajà tó ní sọ̀bù ń lò báyìí. Ìwọ wo sadé tó ní sọ̀bù nísàlẹ̀ ọjà lọ́hùn. Gbogbo gbala ń bára máa ń wo sọ̀bù rẹ̀ tọ́jà rẹ̀ sì ń yán kíákíá. Torí wípé ń lo mama ATM POS. Ìyẹn nìkan kọ́ àwọn ń bára tó bá tó ara nǹkan lẹ́yìn dòdò ń sọ̀bù rẹ̀ àtúmọ̀ ara research card. Eléyìí tó tẹ̀ jáde lórí mama ATM POS. Àwọn ń bára máa ń gbowó lórí mama ATM POS machine. Wọ́n á tún fi owó sórí decoder DSTV, GoTV àti StarTime lọ́dọ̀ rẹ̀. Sọ ti wá mọ ìdí tí sọ́ọ̀bù sadé fi gba ìbúbọ̀ ládùúgbò báyìí tó sì jẹ́ pé kò sí mọ́wọ́ ní gbogbo ń bára rẹ̀. Ọ̀jẹ̀ yára tètè lọ gba mama ATM POS. Káwọn ń bára rẹ̀ mọ ìyá ń kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí.
Ó ní sọ wá gba mama ATM POS machine.
Kàn sí mama ATM ní nàbà 6A Ọ̀lànìyàn Fagbemi Street off Mobile Bus Stop lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ for the Live Center Ìyàgànkú GRA Ìbàdàn. Nílùú Èkó Suite 18 Aláùsá Shopping Mall Ìkẹjà 0809-950-0554. Mama ATM gba owó pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
My people, better don land. Make una come see ogbonge cable wey dem manufacture for Wiobodo, Nigeria. Na Pure Cables. Pure Cables na correct electrical cable wey dey reliable, dependable, and the people wey dem make am call dey safety conscious. Pure Cables get original copper and aluminium cable for different sizes dem wey you fit use for electrical wiring level for anywhere. Whether na your house, abi na your office, the price nko e no dey tear pocket at all. Nationwide distribution don start. For more information, call 0808 030 3257. 0808 030 3257. Pure Cable and Wire Limited. They have print compound. 40 gate 122/132. Also the Apapa Expressway. Iyano Solo Bus Stop, Lagos. Pure Cables. Nigerian Electrical Contractors endorse am. SON approval. Pure Cables. Na Ubico.
Here comes the Mega City Crusade, the Truth 2022. There shall be signs and wonders.
Aha! Better don't land for Ibadan City, City of Hope Foundation. Welcome now for all the Truth 2022 City-wide Crusade. We in team be the Truth. Servant of God will go feed us with the word of God that day now. Prophet M.O. Olowore, Baba Automatic. Bishop Francis Waleoke, PFN National President. Reverend Sansina Jetumobi, Oyo State PFN Chamo. Pastor Moses Lano, Christ Life Church, Maryland, USA. Apostle Clement Olu Olajimi, Shining Light World Outreach. Dr. Francis Bola Akijon, Church Growth International. Gospel artist will go praise God with us that day now. Evangelist Dr. Bola Are, Evangelist Dr. Bukola Kiadeshewele Jesu,
and others.
Date for this crusade that Thursday 16, last Saturday 18 June 2022. Venue na Liberty Stadium waiting for Ibadan. Time now 4:30 p.m. every day. Ministers Conference go show face for 9 a.m. for Thursday 16th plus Friday 17th June 2022. Now for Okiado Baptist Church, Liberty Road, Ibadan. Come know the truth and make you set yourself free. Jesus is Lord.
There shall be signs and wonders.
Here is
105.5.
Accessing
105.6.
one station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Okay, welcome back. It is still Sport right here on Splash 105.5 FM. We're asking our Facebook fan page, if you have to ship out players from your team, what players would that be? And £100 million signed players, who are you bringing in to replace them and shore up your team ahead of the new season? Get on our Facebook fan page. What do you make of that? Straight into football, the NPFL real quick. There are matches that we have for this weekend. Enyimba against Aquara. And I think that's today. Yes.
That's the only game for today.
That's the only game for today, yes. Yeah. Aqua United against Remo Stars. Gombe United at home to Dakar. Kano Pillars hosting Wiki Tories. MFM going away to Katsina. Heartland away at Luby Stars. Nasarawa against Enugu Rangers. Rivers United against Abia Warriors. Rivers United, continue to hold on tight to the title at this point.
Yeah, 7 points.
7 points, top of the league. Shooting Stars at home to Plateau United. Behind closed doors, I should say. And Sunshine Stars are welcoming Niger Tornadoes. Joy, which is the pick of the bunch for you for all of these games?
I think it's going to be the Aqua United Remo Stars game. Looking at every of this team, looking for everyone is fighting for that continent final spots. I think Plateau and Rivers have gotten the first two, so the rest of the bunch from Enugu Rangers in third down to Aqua United in eighth, everyone has the opportunity to be able to get that final continental tickets to go to the CAF Confederations Cup. So it's going to be the game at Uyo. And looking at that's Aqua United have kind of struggled in recent games. I'll be looking at what Menga Ogumbote will be able to do going away to Uyo for me. So I feel this is the game to look out for. I would have said the game in Ibadan, but we all know it is not a game.
But regardless, it'll be very tough for Shooting Stars. Playing against the Plateau United side.
They are currently looking at looking like those that they are already in the relegation spots. They are 13th, 39 points alongside teams in 15th, that's Niger Tornadoes, and they've not won in the last, I think their last 3-4 games now. They lost last week going away to, as the midweek fixture, they lost against Katsina United, and then playing against Plateau United, who is sitting second. And no matter how bad they've been the second stanza, they are always going to be the one you bet, put your money on and say this is the team that will defeat Shooting Stars. And Shooting Stars, without the motivation of the fans in the stadium tomorrow, I don't see them defeating Plateau United. And Plateau United are even looking to get all 3 points, not even getting a draw. So it's going to be a difficult one for Shooting Stars.
Difficult one for Shooting Stars. And for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the next game is on Monday against Sao Tome and Principe. They will be jetting out of Nigeria today to Morocco, where they will take on Sao Tome and Principe. And the boys have been speaking after that game against Sierra Leone. Joe Aribo says he's pleased to see the Eagles get up to a winning start, despite the fact that they played very poorly. And Pesero, the coach, says he needs more time to build a formidable team. I think we all agree that he needs more time. But from what you saw in that game, AY, is the future looking bright?
Yeah,
I've seen commentaries about him being a flexible coach, willing to make changes.
Yeah, I said that as well on Sport Bank yesterday morning. To be honest, if I'm actually going to base my analysis on just that game against Sierra Leone, I would say there should be a bit of an improvement on what Raw actually did with that team. Based on expectation, yes, because it looks a bit more flexible. I mean, that switch in the at halftime, taking out Sadiq Umar, who was relatively ineffective for me in the first half, for Ogeneka Retebo, kind of changed the whole setup of the team and even his own ideology at that particular moment. Remember, he started 4-4-2, Umar and Osimhen up front. Of course, that means he wanted goals. He wanted to dominate as well and also ensure that he killed off the game at first half. And I think fairly they were able to do that, even though they had to come from a goal down to eventually lead 2-1 at halftime. So at halftime, he felt, okay, listen, what we just need to do now is to shuffle up things in the middle of the park, control the game a bit more, and ensure that we dictate the pace of the game. That way, we are not only protecting our lead, but also have a better chance of even increasing our lead. And I think it worked, because when Etebo came into that particular game, he was able to add more bodies in the middle of the park. Also, Super Eagles were able to also fashion out a bit of half chances. Samuel Chukwueze and also others, were culprits for missing perhaps goal-scoring opportunities that could have helped Super Eagles won that game by a comfortable margin. But regardless, the tactics was quite commendable right there. The flexibility of the tactics, let me put it that way, was quite commendable on the part of Pesero. Not what we would have seen if a certain Franco-German was actually in charge. But that being said as well, I wouldn't really also roll over the fact that the pitch was quite terrible. It was a high saw. And I think we might as well be licking our wounds because of that. Because based on what I'm hearing, it seems Victor Osimhen might
be injured as well.
Might be unavailable for the game against South Tome.
Troost-Ekong is already unavailable. In fact, he's left for the UK.
Exactly. So when you realize that 2 of your key players are already out due to injuries that hypothetically are actually avoidable, then it's really uncalled for. And I'm still wondering why we are not using the Uyo Stadium, which I think is actually the best in Nigeria by a large margin. CAF, in fact, agreed to that when they actually hosted the CAF Confederation Cup final here in Nigeria a couple of weeks ago on that same stadium. But, football, politics, they seem to be going hand in hand here in Nigeria. And that is exactly why, to a large extent, we might not be seeing Super Eagles out of Abuja, at least not anytime soon.
Despite what we saw on Friday.
So you expect them to play their next game elsewhere?
Of course, that pitch is an eyesore.
Maybe if the sport ministry is no longer headed by someone.
Then I'd say shame on everyone who is involved in that, honestly, because with what we saw, you still have to bring the team. If you still have to bring the team back to that
Blessing,
topic.
here's the thing: you can cut them some slack. Remember the first game of Shooting Stars as well in Ibadan against Aqua? The pitch was quite terrible. The following home game, barely about 2 weeks later, or was it a week later, we saw somewhat a decent pitch. Not at the best, but I mean not at the best, but it was way better than it was the previous game against Aqua. So I think we can only just charge the sport ministry, those that are also in charge of the management of that stadium, MK Abiola Stadium in Abuja, to do a whole lot better, because that game, I mean that stadium, from what we saw, that pitch was quite terrible. And I'm hoping by the time the Super Eagles are playing their next home game, I think that should be later in September, it should be way better than this.
Okay,
September is a long time from now.
It's a long time from now, absolutely. So I think I'll understand based on that. Outside of the shores of... Okay, before we leave Africa here, Algeria are mourning at this point because their midfielder, Bilal Ben Almouda, has passed away. The 24-year-old died in a tragic car accident while he was on his way back home after featuring the friendly game for the Phoenix Foxes against DR Congo.
Wow.
Almouda even scored in the 3-0 victory in that game on Thursday night. So sad that he has died. Wow. He died in a fatal car accident on his way back from that game. So it's a really sad one for Algerians. I hope that his family can find the fortitude to bear that loss. A really, really sad loss for the football family right there in Algeria. Okay, let's go outside in Africa now to the Nations League. Kylian Mbappe rescued a point in Austria as the world champions remained winless in the Nations League, 1-1. Honestly, how is it that Ralf Rangnick's Austria dragging France by the T-shirt to a 1-0 draw?
Maybe we'll say that Manchester United was a problem. Yeah.
Wow. What is that?
I'm just saying. I said maybe.
Or maybe it's just the case of the father. Ragnar himself is actually a mid-table club manager, or mid-table team manager.
And he's found his level, perhaps.
Yeah.
His level.
That means United are not mid-table.
Are they?
I'm just asking.
Are they a mid-table club?
I'm asking.
Well, based on the last... why are you laughing? You guys want to put me in a very, very uncomfortable position, but... based on the table from the just concluded season, United obviously dragged themselves to the 6th spot. So... By my definition, that's not a mid-table club. So I think the problem is probably with Rangnick.
2 seasons before, where did they finish?
They finished second.
3 seasons before?
They finished third. No.
Was it third?
They finished third.
Are you sure?
Yes. That was one of the arguments we were using for Ole, where we said we moved them from third to second.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I remember.
That's true.
I remember. Other games played in Group A1. Denmark lost at home to Croatia 1-0. Azerbaijan in C3 lost to Slovakia. Belarus against Kazakhstan ended 1-1 in D1. Latvia defeated Moldova 4-2. Andorra defeated Liechtenstein 2-1. In Group B2, we had Albania losing at home to Israel 8-2. Today in Group A3, England against Italy. After this break, we'll talk about that game and, of course, the transfer updates for the day. This is the BBC Premier League update.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Paul Serres at the BBC Sports Centre. Manchester City's Jack Grealish will get his opportunity to start more games for England, according to the Three Lions manager Gareth Southgate. Grealish has so far had to make do with 2 appearances from the bench in England's Nations League campaign, but impressed in the recent 1-1 draw in Germany. England face Italy on Saturday, and Southgate said Grealish featuring from the bench makes him no less important to the squad.
We know what he brings. We weren't for 1 minute thinking of not bringing him in the squad this summer, and he's going to be starting games, in these next couple. So we also have other players like Saka and Sterling who started the other night. We've got competition for places in that area of the pitch.
Scotland take on Ireland in Dublin. The Aston Villa midfielder John McGinn says it's always a special atmosphere when the two nations meet.
I was at the game at Celtic Park between Scotland and Ireland, and it certainly had a sort of derby feeling to it. It certainly will, because the players know each other inside out. They know what we are capable of, we know what they are capable of, so it's a game we'll both want to win. Derby, I'm not sure, but it certainly had the feeling the last time.
Manchester United have contacted Barcelona over the availability of Frankie de Jong. The Netherlands midfielder played for new United manager Erik ten Hag at Ajax and is regarded as the ideal fit for his intended system at Old Trafford. And Chelsea have confirmed the release of Andreas Christensen when his contract expires later this month. The Denmark defender is set to sign for Barcelona, leaving Stamford Bridge after 10 years. Christensen follows Antonio Rudiger out of the exit after the German defender's move to Real Madrid was confirmed. The Blues have also announced the release of midfielder Danny Drinkwater. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Long live LifeMate! LifeMate will celebrate her 16th anniversary in June 2022. Enjoy 50% discount on all product, 20% discount on royal furniture. At the same time, all customers who buy products will get a large number of exquisite free products. The complimentary products can go up to 50% of the total consumption. The discount period is from June 4th to June 30th. For more inquiries, please call 081 2000 6000. LifeMate, your life mate forever. Terms and conditions apply.
Ọlọ́run wòlíì Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ máa ró gbogbo ènìyàn lágbára níbi ìpàdé májẹ̀mú 72 hours.
Àrùn Ọlọ́run lẹ́nu wòlíì Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́ máa tẹ́lẹ̀ gbogbo ogun àti ìjìbá nínú 72 hours sí kọ́ńtà yìí o. Àkòrí ẹ̀ agbára rẹ̀ power of the world. Látọjọ́ Friday 10, Saturday 11 àti Sunday 12 June ní ọ̀rọ̀ fúnra rẹ̀. Yóò ti máa ma gbogbo májẹ̀mú tó lóhùn tó lòdì. Jẹ́ lórí ayé gbogbo aládùúwà. Tó bá lè farahàn lábẹ́ pé Ọlọ́run lórí àwọn wòlíì rẹ̀. Àtàwọn olórí ẹ̀mí bíi Dáre Melody, Friday Paul ọmọ abúlé, Ìlàjà Akíntúndé Ọlọ́run sábẹ́, Bridget Adénúbí, Chico Zee Wisdom, Gbẹ̀ngà Adénúgà, Prophet Táíwò Òjó bàbá ìsọjí orí afẹ́fẹ́. Yóò máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ bá gbogbo májẹ̀mú tó lòdì jẹ́ lórí àwọn èèyàn. Látọjọ́ Friday 10 tá a bá ti wọnú àdúrà. Láago mẹ́sàn-án òwúrọ̀ náà yẹ. Ọjọ́ Monday la máa ṣorí ọ̀fẹ́ o. Láti wọ́rọ̀ Olùbàdàn tó bá ṣe jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Ọkọ̀ àṣejìrẹ́ ní kẹ́ wọ̀. Òṣèjẹ́rẹ́ ní kẹ́ máa bọ̀. Mercy Kàmpútì CAC májẹ̀mú àánú. Ìwọ náà máa bọ́ lábẹ́ ìdè ọ̀rọ̀.
Need to see the best performance?
Thank you.
In person?
With almost 100,000 Instagram followers and over 100,000 followers on Twitter. Wow! And more than 250,000 followers on Facebook. Our followers are our greatest assets. Join our social media family for breaking news, daily information, and giveaways. On Instagram and Twitter at Splash FM 1055. On Facebook at www.facebook.com/Splash FM 105.5.
Long live LifeMate! LifeMate will celebrate her 16th anniversary in June 2022. Enjoy 50% discount on all product, 20% discount on royal furniture. At the same time, all customers who buy products will get a large number of exquisite free products. The complimentary products can go up to 50% of the total consumption. The discount period is from June 4th to June 30th. For more inquiries, please call 081 2000 6000. LifeMate, your life mate forever. Terms and conditions apply.
Splash FM 105.5.
Okay, and now we're reaching home stretch on World Sports. That's Super Saturday afternoon right here on your Integrity Dial, Splash 105.5 FM. We are seeing this South African league, more like highlights of South African football on the TV screen, and AY is basically ranting, talking about the things that could be and things that should be with Nigerian football. When are we going to get it right? When? Yes, that's the question.
I'm not God, and from the look of things, it's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. See, guys, to be honest, I'm really infuriated. This is a typical, just an average South African PSL, Premier Soccer League. It's a playoff match, and they've already opened studio. They've started their pre-match analysis about 30 minutes before kickoff. This is somewhat just another game in South Africa, and here we are stuck to it. But guess what? If you have a top fixture in Nigeria, my dear, the best you can do is to actually go on Twitter or Facebook, and hopefully maybe you can actually see one or two updates, whoever scores, and that's all. And this is
check
football.
YouTube sometimes.
Yeah,
maybe 2 or 3 days later.
Some of the
just a team.
Some of the teams.
Just one team does it. Just one team. Remo Stars. They are the only team.
I'm not talking about
Shooting Stars streams matches on Facebook.
That's not streaming. That's an ISO. Just one camera view.
Give them credit. They do
really?
something. How many other clubs are doing anything?
Oh, okay. Shooting Stars. This is your credit. Is that okay? I'm talking about something standard. You are talking about substandard. You are telling me I should upload it.
Where does the MPFL rank in terms of coefficient alongside the PSL?
They should be ranking higher than us now. Yes, I think PSL should be about. I think it should be about 3rd or 4th. I stand corrected though, but I'm sure they'll be in the top 5, judging by their performance in recent years. My Melody Saunders have been quite amazing the last 4 or 5 years. Orlando Pirates reached the final of the Confederation Cup here in Nigeria. Yeah. Those are things that only MPFL teams can just dream of. They can't even make it beyond group stage. You are telling me I should upload one camera view.
Please,
I'm just annoyed. It's annoying.
I mean, you also
we have the market,
Blessing.
We have
youth league
yes, now, on TV. Their youth league, South Africa, every Saturday morning, whenever their youth league is on, their youth league season is on. Saturday morning, when I'm just trying to catch up and do all sorts, I just turn on my TV and I watch their youth league games. Players I don't even know about, teams I don't even know about. But because it's a live game and it's something on TV, I will watch it. Meanwhile, our own first division here in Nigeria, we're not even streaming it. We're not even putting it on TV. It's painful. And we are talking about job employment and all that. Listen, imagine the kind of employment opportunity that is actually abound in this. And the funny thing is there's a huge market for it. Lots of Nigerian football fans want to watch these games on TV. I'm quite sure Shooting Stars fans wouldn't mind tuning into their TV to watch tomorrow's game on TV.
They can't go to the stadium.
But here we are. It's just a shit.
It will be on Facebook tomorrow.
It's annoying. Facebook. Don't bring that up again, please.
I believe the Lord.
That one camera view.
I believe the Lord will intervene.
That's even if there's good network. That's even if there's good internet.
Let's take some messages. Benga Ogunake says, "Good afternoon. I'm enjoying your show today. My guests are about me and Joy. We're back at the beginning of the football season. I can't wait to see you. Actually, says my sabbatical leave will be over then. And he says, if I were to be the technical director of my club, which is Arsenal." Benga's words, not mine. I have to stress that. It says, I will ship out Lokonga and Tavares on loan. I will sell Pepe and Bellerin and Cedric and go for a midfielder in Declan Rice or Yuri Telemans. A good striker in Osimhen or Christopher Nkuku from RB Leipzig. A good left back to complement Kieran Tierney.
Yeah. That's why it's not the club's director of football.
Well, this is compact.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It is full.
I like the fact that he's been able to highlight some things that obviously Arsenal need. They need to shove up, the middle of the park as well. Lokonga was supposed to be a very good deputy, for Thomas Partey and even what's his name? The left full back Sweets man, Granit Xhaka. But unfortunately, he just couldn't cut it.
Xhaka is a DM, actually.
No, I'm sorry. No, Lokonga is quite versatile.
You said left full back.
No, I said middle of the park. I said left back midfielder.
Okay.
I mean left-footed midfielder, rather.
Okay, now I understand.
Oh, really? You're not serious. But the point is, they also need strikers, not a striker. They need strikers. When you lose Aubameyang and you lose Lacazette, I expect you to actually reinforce with quality strikers. Sadly, it looks like they will take forever before they could sign Gabriel Jesus, or maybe they would not even sign him. If you had to go by the number of strikers that have been linked with Arsenal in the last 2 decades, you need an extra sheet. But only just few of them actually eventually signed for them. But that's just the story of Arsenal and their usual transfer, storyline. But I think I kind of agree with some of the positions you highlighted, middle of the park, and of course the strikers department highly required.
Okay, this is from Okeke Ogbuchigos. It says, good afternoon, Blessing, Ewa, and Joy. I am shipping out Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Paul Pogba. He didn't tell us who's going to bring in their place.
Who ships out his club's captain? That's disrespectful.
Joy, do you agree with that?
First off, Pogba has left already.
Yes, he has left.
So for Maguire, it's going to be unfair.
Club captain.
Yeah.
For that, come on. Leadership quality. Who else has it?
You guys are terrible.
No, it's
the fact that you can keep a straight face and say this. You guys are terrible.
I understand that he had a very terrible season last season, but I mean, it happens to the best of the players. I mean,
Joy,
sorry.
Swap deal. We'll give your favorite club, Maguire, and take out your best central defender or your club captain.
My best central defender has left already.
No, we'll take your club captain.
He's at the verge of also leaving.
Would you agree?
Maguire.
Yeah, Maguire for your club captain.
He's coming to do what? Play football. He can come in to come and be a scout or something. I don't know.
So yeah, you are now trying to tell Manchester United.
It's a question. I asked you.
Guys, let's be serious. To be honest, Maguire was quite terrible, and I think United fans have probably just had enough of him. And I think even for his own career, because the moment he went as far as threatening him and his family that they were going to actually throw a missile or something into his house, and that was the start of the end for me. It's no longer football. It has become personal. So I think for the sake of everybody involved, I mean the club, the fans, and even the boy himself, Maguire, I think they should really just find ways to sever ties and of course let him leave.
Hello, who's on the line?
Good afternoon, Blessing.
Good afternoon, Emmanuel.
Yeah, this is Emmanuel.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, can't wait to the handsome gentleman that has been coming to play to the show recently. And good afternoon to...
I'll leave him to answer for himself.
Emmanuel, how far now?
Don't they cast my guy like that?
It's traffic. It's traffic.
Why they cast out?
I hope it's not traffic, really.
You say what?
I hope it's not traffic.
Yeah, it's traffic now.
Traffic.
I'm sorry.
It's traffic.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I'm greeting to, and most especially, Joe Jabulu.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Joy.
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Well, Joe, it's not only the sports kid that I miss you. I've missed you a lot. Too.
Aww.
Yeah. I wish you just be on the show on the Champions League night, the Magic night, and I think you're on the show and I know you are going to predict the correct result, the correct score, because after a while I give it to you, I give you all the credit, all the flowers.
It will shock you.
I actually predicted what will happen. Yeah, you can check it on Facebook. Splash Abekota.
Okay. But
I'm not AY and Faith.
No. That's the former AY. AY has changed.
Really?
Wanted to share me? Ask Emmanuel. Ask Emmanuel.
We're not burning our money again.
Emmanuel, who's the best tipster?
Well, I think it comes to predictions of 2.5, 1.5, winning.
Tapping.
If you come to correct score, give it to Ojabolu. So I think it was on show that day. Trust me, I was not even bother and just switch on the TV. I was just enjoy our TV.
I know, I pity you.
So, and now that you're on the show, please don't. I hope you stay along enough to tell us who's going to win the league next season.
She's running back to Splash Abekota.
So,
she's on sabbatical.
I think for me, I'm really for guys about that. And I think he's been making... Well, I think Blessing has been the role of a fantasy manager. And it's not everybody that have 100 million cash to splash around. I'm talking like...
So let's pretend you do.
Okay. Like 100 million, I think I will... For Liverpool now, I think there are some players that don't have enough playing time that really I want them to use that. To have better playing time because they've got the quality. The likes of Takumi, I will let them go. Oxlade Chamberlain already is going. Then the likes of players too. Then I will get. I think now that Mane and Salah are just setting us with living. So they So I will get a replacement. Something like we're going for. I'll get Darwin Núñez. I think it's 85, so I've gotten Fabio Carvalho too. So I'll get maybe one more, something like a backup striker for me. So.
All right, thank you very much, Emmanuel. Backup striker.
Yeah, thank
Correct
you.
Manager. Yeah. Jürgen Klopp the second. Thank you very much for calling. 08091551055, 08256998678, 0706949300. England against Italy today, Hungary against Germany. I think it's the first time England and Italy will be facing off since the Euro 2020 finals. And of course, Italy are not in the best shape at this point.
They've been terrible since after that win.
Yes.
Since after that win at the Wembley Stadium, they've gone back to the former Italy we used to know pre the
failure to make it to the World Cup as well. That's
what I'm saying. They went back to default setting, failure to make it to the World Cup. Yeah. That was before.
The default setting of Italy would always be a team that will qualify for the World Cup.
No, I'm talking about default setting before this particular
run that they had.
They had
to the Euro 2020
win. Before then, they didn't qualify for the previous World Cup in 2018. They didn't go to the previous World Cup in 2018, and then they came on with this very amazing run down to the Euros, and after that, they went back. That was
I think it's just about the fact that the cycle of the team is also changing now. You know, sometimes squads like this, of course, follow a cycle. That is why I'm so disheartened about one of my favorite teams in the last 3-4 years, Atalanta. The cycle is obviously over now, so there's a need for them to restart. That's why they've been trying so many new players now. Scamacca up front. Sometimes it is what's his name? The Torino striker. I forgot his name now. So the point is that some players have actually left. Some have been out injured. So the core part of that particular squad that went on that run to win the Euros just last year, I think most of them are obviously gone past their best prime now, or some of them are even battling with terrible form or something. So it is game, yeah. Exactly. So it is bound to happen. It's just quite unfortunate that Italy, as we've known over the last 3-4 decades, usually have a system that will produce some other young stars to actually fill into these holes that are being left behind by these top stars. But unfortunately, that's not the case at the moment. That's why the lapses are showing in their results.
Manuel on Facebook has a message for AOI, pretty much similar to what Iman. So maybe you answer that. King Brown says updates on transfer market. Real Madrid have confirmed Tchouameni's transfer. We're hearing PSG might be moving for Zinedine Zidane. How good would that be?
I feel like it's maybe what they need to challenge for what they've been looking for the most. That's what has eluded them since the takeover by the Qatarian family. So I feel like it's what they need. This man has proven himself by winning the Champions League 3 times on the bounce, and then he has been off for a sabbatical, off coaching for a while. He went back and he came back. He won the title at Real Madrid. So talking about winning domestically, he also proves that he can do it on the domestic scene.
But would he be a good fit?
Well, I feel like I also feel like he's one of the reasons. I feel like there's this conversation about him being one of the reasons why PSG had to tie down Kylian Mbappe, because it looks like one of the things that made him convince him to come to that particular club.
Clearer.
So it's getting clearer that they actually need someone with that mentality. I mean, Pochettino was definitely going to be it was a terrible decision to get him as a coach.
The first place, yeah.
So they need someone.
It hasn't gone so well for them.
Yeah.
Barcelona are very close to agreeing Gavi renewal. That's according to reports. Nothing is certain yet. And Real Madrid, like I said, they've confirmed Tchouameni's signing. Manchester United are in talks with Barcelona as well for Frankie de Jong. They are also working on a Garnacho deal. That's according to the reports. That's pretty much it. And of course, just rumors for Arsenal. Barcelona are waiting on Alonso and Azpilicueta deals as well. City are willing to spend about £60 million for Calvin Phillips. That's the Leeds midfielder. Yeah. Arsenal are frustrated by Arsenal's transfer indecision at this point. The Tottenham are in advanced talk to have Jed Spence join the team from Middlesbrough. So that's pretty much around what the biggest transfer news is right about now. So we're not done yet, certain as we go, but we're hearing that some teams have released certain players. Chelsea released Christensen, like we heard in the BBC Premier League update. They released Danny Drinkwater, and I'd like to see what the replacements would be for these players. AY, what are the odds? We need to leave. Are there odds? There are games, international games?
Yeah, maybe just from the game between Italy and England.
England, Italy, Hungary, Germany, Netherlands, Poland, Wales, Belgium, Ukraine, Armenia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Herzegovina. Are you going to call?
Okay, yeah. For the Italy against England, I'll go for England to score at least 1 goal, so they can actually score 2 goals. But England to certainly score there. In the game between Hungary and Germany, I'm actually going for over 2.5 goals there. Yeah, so those are just my calls.
Okay, those are the calls for AOI. Back on Facebook, before we leave, Adewale Bakare says, I know you guys were calling for Rosehead. We'll try to justify the appointment of Pesero, who just played his first official game time. We'll tell if he's going to match Ro's record, 2 AFCON of qualifications, 1 World Cup qualification, and 1 AFCON bronze. And remember that it wasn't Ro that didn't qualify us for the World Cup because he didn't allow him to fail before before calling him a failure. That is from Adewale Bakare. It says special shout out to AY. Let me 9+. What exactly does that mean, AY?
Stand strong.
You have to explain to me what that means.
No, what is he saying is obviously what happened just about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes, no.
Nobody is hailing me. My sunglasses, no. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much for those comments. Thank you. We appreciate you so much. Sorry, the phone lines. We had issues with the phone lines and we couldn't take many calls. And, someone had to call my attention to it here. I apologize for that. But we'll be back here next Saturday, bigger and better and stronger. Thank you for being a part of the show today. Joy Ojabalu, all the way from Splash FM Abeokuta. Thank you so much for being here. Loan deal.
Thank you for having me. I would like to correct something. This is Pesero's third official game. We had 2 friendlies, and then this is
competitive. Like AFCON qualifier competitive. Oh, we understand the context. But hey, thank you anyway.
Thank you for having me.
With the celebrity.
Yeah, muchas gracias. My parting shots. Hopefully one day would actually have to open studio about an MPFL game about 30 minutes before kickoff.
Amen. My name is Blessing Fowowe. We'll be back here on Monday with Sports Bang at 7:30. Have a great weekend. Au revoir.
For my head, you better follow
Here is 105.5.
Accessing
105.6.
one station, all the hits.
105.5. Splash.
Splash FM 105.5. Splash FM 105.5.
Baba,
Yes, my son.
tell me a story.
Millions of years ago, a meteorite made of vibranium, the strongest substance in the universe, struck the continent of Africa, affecting the plant life around it. And when the time of men came, 5 tribes settled on it and called it Wakanda.
Why?
Hello, beautiful people. How are you doing wherever you are? Well, I trust you're doing fine. I have some information for you, and I want you to listen up. Something big is coming to you, but the question is how ready you are. Yes, how ready you are. We all know that the digital economy era is taking the world by storm. And soon, those with the digital know-how will be the ones running this town and continent. Are you prepared for this new wave that is here already? A wave that will not only enlighten you on the decentralization of finance in Africa, but show you how to liberate yourself economically. If you have not been sleeping on a bicycle, then you should know by now that there are multiple ways to make money via your smartphones and to make it big time in the fast-changing world of today. Another question, do you want to learn and be part of this new wave? If you want to learn and be part of this new wave, join us on Monday, June 13th, 2022, which happens to be the public holiday for Democracy Day at Banquet Hall of Premier Hotel, Mokola Ibadan, or your state, from 10 a.m. to learn about how you can chill with the big boys and gain insightful knowledge about the basics of digital finance and how you can leverage it to your advantage. All you have to do is send yes with your full name to 0802-880-0976. Send yes with full name on WhatsApp to 0802-880-0976 for your seats reservation. Remember, you can only send us messages on WhatsApp. Also, don't keep this to yourself. Tell a friend. Tell another friend about this huge opportunity. Remember the wise saying, we rise by lifting others. Yes, we rise by lifting others. Just in case you missed it earlier, the date is Monday, June 13, 2022, which happens to be the public holiday for Democracy Day. And the venue is at Banquet Hall of Premier Hotel, Mokola Ibadan, Oyo State, from 10 a.m. No African time. Yes, no African time. The juicy part of it is that the first 50 people to reserve a seat and get to the venue of the event will get fantastic gift items. And all you have to do is send yes with full name to 0802 880 0976 on WhatsApp for your free seat reservation. Yes, you can only send messages via WhatsApp on 0802 880 0976. There are limited seats, so hurry now. Thank you for listening, and I hope you picked up something from this information. Remember, there are limited seats, so hurry now.
Here is
105.5.
accessing
105.6.
one station.